Hey, what's up, everyone? Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts. In today's stream, we're going to be talking about PayPal earnings and Disney earnings. So let's go ahead and jump right in. A couple things to note here. This was a trade inverse iron condor. I opened up today on PayPal, up a little bit here. The regular session bell just rang for the close. So up a little bit on this PayPal inverse iron condor. I'll go over this trade specifics here in a moment. But first, I just want to make sure everyone knows PayPal reports at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so we got about 15 minutes for PayPal. Disney reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So we get the data on Disney here in about 5 minutes. So let's go back to the candlestick because I did see Disney kind of pumping up a little bit here at the close. We just zoom in a little bit, had a nice 5-minute green candle. Subsequent candle wicked up to 99.29. So already getting a little bit of buying pressure on Disney, and the earnings aren't even released yet. So right-hand side of my screen is the Disney chart. Left-hand side is PayPal. Just a couple specifics. Let's do Disney first since they're reporting here in about 5 minutes. So 20 analyst ratings, recommend strong buy. Good to see that. Looks like Disney, 1, 2, 3, 4, the past 4 earnings, they didn't have a problem beating EPS. So that's good to see there. Forecasted EPS on Disney is 0.97, forecasted revenue 23.47 billion. And let's just see, the last 2 times Disney reported earnings, one day after the announcement, they were nice and green. Up almost 5% on August when they reported on August 9th, up almost 7% when they reported on November 8th. So let's go back to the candlesticks here. Disney getting some volatility. I'm just going to zoom in here on the 3-minute chart and see what we got. So slightly green in after hours, just tapped 99.77. Got about another 3 or 4 minutes before the actual data comes out. I'll have side screen over here on the side. As soon as I get the results, I'll let everyone know. Let me go ahead and refresh my page. So already getting some volatility on Disney, little bit of volatility picking up on PayPal, kind of getting some flickering action there. Again, they report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Let me just, we got a couple minutes to kill here before the actual Disney data comes out. Just wanted to go over this PayPal trade here. It's inverse iron condor, almost a 1-to-1 risk reward, basically risking 54 to make 46 on each condor that we opened. I opened up a handful of them on one of my other accounts, on my Fidelity account, and then opened some up on Schwab. So we'll see, just a lotto play, just playing with profits that I made already this week. And the idea behind this trade is we have a debit spread on each side of the price of PayPal. So got a close price here, 63.24. So basically what I want to happen on this trade is I'm not biased on any direction. Okay, I don't care if PayPal goes to the moon. I don't care if PayPal burns to the ground. Okay, basically just don't want the price of PayPal to be caught in this range here. This would be the loss range. Expiration date is Friday, so we got till Friday for the move to happen. If we don't get the move here for earnings, get a couple more days for it to kind of get outside of my break evens. So basically what the bet is on this trade is I want PayPal to be outside of my break evens. So as long as it's below 59.46 by Friday or above 67.54 by Friday, then you can see I can win the trade in either direction. I'll kind of gauge what the price of PayPal is doing tomorrow during the regular session, because of course I won't let this go to max loss. If we don't get a move with the earnings catalyst or the move tomorrow, I'll probably just stop out of the trade for a small loss or something if the price of PayPal is still caught in my max loss tent here. But I love the trade, more of a neutral strategy, because again, I don't care if PayPal has a nice big rally or if it sells off a lot. Kind of covered in both directions. there were some people in our Discord group that did get some earning lotto calls. So that's obviously directional bias there. I prefer the more neutral trades like this, just kind of have coverage on both sides there. So let me go back to the candlesticks and see what we going on. See what's going on. Still waiting on Disney. Should be reporting in about another 30 seconds here. We should get some actual data. I'll make sure I got my screen refreshed on my other screen here so I can post the data when it actually gets posted. So I know Webull sometimes lags when the data gets released. Webull might not post it for another 5-10 minutes after it posts. So, but so far, slightly green on Disney. So we'll kind of focus on Disney because the data should be coming out momentarily. Okay, looks like the data is officially out, getting lots of volatility now. It wicked down to 98. It wicked up to 101, but now the sellers are stepping up right now. We'll see if this initial move is going to end up being the real move, or is it going to go one direction and just flip real quickly to the other? Sometimes we see that. So looking at Disney, I'm going to go ahead and go to the 1 minute chart and see what kind of action we got here. Kind of indecision. It's flickering down, a little bit selling. Nothing too dramatic on Disney. Just kind of waiting for this initial move to play out. Looks like it might be going down. We'll see here. We've seen these things reverse pretty quickly, especially if it's earnings. I personally did not open a position on Disney because I decided to do the PayPal inverse iron condor. So, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Been a while since we spoke. Okay, here we go. Getting a nice move on Disney. So this first 1 minute candle, I get a big wick on top, big wick on bottom, kind of indecision. Now it looks like some of the earnings data is being digested by investors. And so far, looking good, up over 3.5% and going. Let me refresh my screen on the other side here and got some results here. This is from CNBC. Got Walt Disney Q1. Well, let me see here. EPS came in at $1.22. Okay, so this is kind of the guidance for Q1. They adjusted it from to $1.22 versus 99 cents, which means they increased the guidance upwards. Revenue kind of in line. They didn't really adjust that much. Let me just refresh my screen again. See if we can get the actual EPS and revenue, obviously for Q4. Okay, so here's some results here. EPS came in at $1.04, so kind of in line with expectations. Revenue came in at 23.5 billion. Did miss expectations. The forecast was 23.7 billion. So a slight miss on the revenue. EPS did come in line. Let me just double check that real quick. Yeah, I mean, they beat EPS a little bit. The consensus was 0.97. This is kind of like a rolling consensus there. But let me go back to the candlesticks. So probably just going to need to look for the forward guidance, which they already put out a little bit of data on that. They did adjust Q1 guidance upwards, which is positive there for that stock. So let's see what the stock price ends up doing. RSI sitting at 92 on the 1 minute chart. Pretty oversold there. I'm sorry, overbought. Okay, let me refresh my other screen. Okay, here's the Disney earnings. I'll go ahead and post this for everybody. Okay, so positive reaction on Disney because they did announce they're targeting a $3 billion buyback. And they boosted the cash dividend by 50%. Missed revenue a little bit, but did have a EPS beat. Okay, well, it looks like the EPS came in line. Okay. But let me go ahead and post this for Disney because this is pretty big news. Let me get this posted on YouTube. So here the Disney earnings. So this is the important part. They boost the cash dividend by 50%, and they're targeting a $3 billion buyback. I think this buyback news is really gonna move this stock to the upside, up over 5% in after hours here. So far, pretty positive reaction. So far so good on Disney. Congrats to the Bulls. I don't want to congratulate too early, but so far everything seems positive, and they got the big news with the $3 billion buyback. So that's pretty big news, and of course the boost to the cash dividend. Okay, so increase the dividend and buyback. It's just this thing could trend up for the rest of after hours. We'll see what happens. If it starts pulling back a little bit, I'll pop a fib on there and see if we get a 25% retracement bounce. If it just keeps going, then it keeps going. So far so good for the Bulls. Amy on YouTube, yep. Buybacks are the golden thing to say. Yep, I think so, Amy. I completely agree. Mr. Stock Lock Profits in YouTube. Okay, so you got in Disney at $80. It was a rest and retire play that you had opened up previously. So that's good. I mean, shoot, you're up 20% just on the shares. I'm assuming the rest and retire play was an equity play. Not sure if you sprinkled in some options there, but even just the equity, you're going to be up over what, 25% now. They just hit a high in after hours, 106.29. So far, very positive reaction to Disney's earnings. Like I said, to be honest with you, the EPS and revenue kind of came in line. There wasn't really like a spectacular beat on those two fronts. What's pushing this stock right now is the $3 billion buyback, and they boosted the cash dividend by 50%. That's huge news. And I agree with Amy here on YouTube. That's, if when these earnings get announced, if they're able to do buybacks, and I think that's going to be very positive for the earnings announcements moving forward. Okay, so great news. Yeah, Mr. Stock Lock Profits, give me the dividend. Exactly. So that's really good for Disney Bulls. Congrats so far. That's great news. I don't see this coming back down. Could retrace a little bit, but again, with the boost of the dividend and the buyback, I think this thing's just going to keep going. Let's look at Stock Buddies. Pull up Disney here and see what kind of signal it's giving us. Obviously, getting a nice bullish signal in after hours here. Let me go down 3 minutes. The 1 minute. Okay, cool. So we got a little stop loss in here as well. Stop loss at 102 area if you're playing the shares. Got a nice bull signal leading into close here. This is the Stock Buddies indicator. One of my colleagues in the group I'm in, it's like a software engineer. He custom built the indicator. If you're interested in the Stock Buddy indicator, there's a link in the description. You can check it out. But it works very, very well on the bigger time frames. Here is the most recent signal. I got it set on Heiken Ashi right now, but this is from January 22nd. Got a solid bull signal when it was sitting around 91 bucks. And of course, that's a $7 increase just off this signal there. So let's go back to Webull. Still climbing. Disney hit 107.12. It's got some feet on it. It's about 4:12 p.m. and we got PayPal's earnings on deck. About another couple minutes, and like I said, I opened up a pretty sweet inverse iron condor. I'm kind of protected on both sides. Expected move on PayPal. This is February 9th expiration for Friday. I'm on thinkorswim here with my Schwab account, but just go to the option chain, go all the way to the right. You can see expected move here, plus or minus $6 basically. Okay, so that's kind of how I set this trade up. Try and center PayPal in the middle, and then you put your debit spreads on each side. And as you can see from current price of 63.24 when it closed, I just need like a $4 move to the upside, or like basically a $4 move to the upside or a $4 move to the downside, and I can take profit regardless of what direction it goes. And that $4 move is definitely inside of the expected move by Friday. So just kind of boost the confidence level up a little bit on the play just by keeping in line with the expected move. With inverse iron condors, just look at what the expected move is, and then however you set up your debit spreads, just make sure the move that you need for your trade is within that expected move, and it should chance of success should be a little higher as long as you can double check that kind of stuff. Let's go back to the candlesticks. Disney's still on the move. 107.68 and climbing. PayPal's data should be released in about another 20 or 30 seconds. We can go ahead and switch to the 1 minute on that. Let me get my other screen pulled up for PayPal results as soon as those come in. Okay. So expected revenue for PayPal, 7.87 billion. Expected EPS, $1.36. And active users, 428 million. That's the projections. Getting some volatility on PayPal. Let me refresh my screen, and because it looks like the data is obviously out now. Okay, wow, very positive reaction. A bunch of members in the Discord bought PayPal calls today. I can kind of show you. I'll show you the trade. I'll bring it into the screen here. Let me see here. Okay. Yep. So this was the lotto play on PayPal. $65 call for Friday expiration at 2:27. We had a handful of members take that play, and so far it's looking pretty dang good. PayPal up almost, well, they're up over $5 in after hours. Finally getting a little bit of breather on Disney. Good time to pop on the fib and just kind of see if we get somewhat of a 25% retracement here. It's kind of hanging out there right now. It's right around 105 would be 25% retracement. The ideal thing is we'd like to see a bounce here, for continuation. If not, we're just going to have to look at some of these other levels, which is around 104.50 and 103.50. And of course, 102.50, give or take a couple pennies. The golden fib there at 61.8 would be make or break for the bulls there. PayPal had a nice reaction to the upside to 69. Now it's retracing 100%, more than 100% and dropping. Let me refresh my other page and see. They must have adjusted their guidance. But see, y'all, this is why I did the inverse iron condor, because I don't care if it goes up to the moon or burns to the ground. I'm going to make money either way. So I still feel really good about the trade that I opened up. Looks like it's trying to claw back some of the sell-off on this red 1 minute candle here. Disney's still holding up at this 25% retrace level. That's basically just the fib from the bottom of this big green candle when the real pump started. Okay, PayPal trying to come back a little bit here. All right, let me refresh my other screen, see if we got some figures on PayPal. Okay, got some earnings. This is from TrendSpider, pretty reputable source. And let me just copy and paste this and put this into YouTube so everyone has the results, and we'll kind of talk about it a little bit. Okay, let me post that. Let me take that comment down. And okay, so PayPal Q4 earnings report just dropped. EPS came in at $1.48 versus the 136 estimate, so they beat EPS. And it looks like they beat sales as well, 8 billion versus 7.87 billion. So PayPal beating on both ends. If this ends up selling off, it's obviously got to do with forward guidance, right? So let me see if I get some more data about the forward guidance, because something's amiss here. They beat EPS and they beat revenue, but we're getting some selling action here. So let's see if the earnings data is still being digested. Got to be some sort of forward guidance is going on. Like they adjusted the Q1 guidance, the remainder of Q1 guidance for this year. Maybe they adjusted that down. Disney adjusted theirs up, and that's why, you know, we got that nice positive reaction here. A little bit of a pullback going on right now, but that's only healthy after a pump like that on a $100 stock. Let me refresh my other screen. Okay, let's see. So they beat EPS and revenue. Looks like they might make an attempt to retrace here. Okay, so Disney attempting to have another leg up. Okay, so Disney basically did bounce around the 25% retrace. Just now, a nice green candle here. Let's see if it breaks 107.77. If that happens, I'll go ahead and delete this fib, and then I'll wait for another pullback and draw another one. But if this breaks 107.77, then I mean, I'll just redraw this and we'll have some fresher levels. But getting a solid bounce off that 25%, just like I was saying. PayPal trying to come back. Let me draw a fib on this one from here down to there. Okay, so PayPal, it's testing this 25% retracement from the sell-off. If we can get above there, ideally we want to see it break the golden fib of 61.8 and continue higher from there. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Mr. Stocklock Province on YouTube, pump and dump, yeah, on PayPal. I mean, that's obviously what it looked like, right? We got a pump and then a dump. So it definitely had a pump and dump action there. Now let's see if it can retrace back up. Kind of hanging out at this 25% right now. That's what Disney was doing, opposite direction, of course, because Disney pumped, pulled back to this 25% area. Typically, if we see continuation, it's normal to see a retrace back and then it goes higher. So that's what Disney's trying to do right now. Up over $8 in after hours. See if it makes a run to this 107.77 and see what happens. I think, depending on what PayPal's guidance is, I think it has a chance of clawing back this red candle to the upside. I mean, they beat EPS, they beat revenue. Now, if they didn't beat EPS and didn't beat revenue, then I would say this would probably go lower. But they got a shot at clawing back some of these losses here. Again, we just want to see this break at basically 61.66. It's a nice clean break of that to the upside, or rejection here, and it makes it a lower low in after hours. Hey, what's up, Ethan? How you doing?
What's up, Bull? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man.
How'd PayPal do? I saw some alerts on my phone. Oof.
Yeah, kind of a little pump and dump action. And then it tried to retrace, it did retrace 25%, got rejected, and now it's coming back down. Disney had a pretty positive reaction so far. Disney up over 7%. PayPal could make another low. Not too worried about my PayPal trade because like I said, I got the I'm protected on both sides here. Just looking for a $4 move up or a $4 move down from the $63 area. Okay, let me go back to the candlesticks here.
Looks like Disney did pretty good.
Yeah, yep. Disney did good. They announced a $3 billion buyback, and they increased their dividend by 50%. So I think that's obviously very, very positive for Disney, and I personally think they continue higher. Just kind of curious if Netflix was affected by the Disney earnings. Let me check out Netflix. Let's see. Not really. Didn't really affect Netflix too much. They're kind of just chilling in after hours, not doing much. I actually opened up a short on Netflix. Let me just go to the daily chart here.
You trying to get it back into that gap?
To be honest with you, I'm not even depending on this gap getting filled. I just want it to retest the top of the gap, because if you go back to their last earnings on October 18th, they gapped up. They never did come fill it, but they did come back down and test the top of the gap right here on October 27th. So my reasoning behind the play, I did some call credit spreads, and literally, I don't even care if it comes to fill this gap or not. The point of my trade is just a retest of the top of the gap like it did the last earnings, which is about a $20 move, to this white line here. So that's basically all I need it to do. It's just kind of pull back 10 bucks, maybe. I mean, even 10 bucks. We get this thing ends up it's at 559 now, but if it goes to like, 550, or high 540s, I should have some decent profit on my call credit spreads, and I'll probably just go ahead and take the profit and move on to the next
definitely.
trade.
Honestly, I mean, I was bullish on it until about the last 3 days, once these daily candles look super weak. So I actually like that trade.
Yep, that's why I opened it, because you notice all the dojis. I mean, buyers are obviously out of gas here.
Yeah.
And we had that nice red candle yesterday. Another doji today, so that's good. I like it. Basically, just one more red candle like we had yesterday. I mean, that candle opened at 564 and closed at 555. So almost a $10 drop yesterday, and today it basically opened up neutral. But we get another red candle like this, and this ends up, around 550 or high 540s. My call credit spreads on this is gonna pay some good money, and then I'll take that and move on. So let me go back to PayPal and see what it's doing. See if it's trying to. Let me go back to the 1 minute. Yeah, okay. So it's back up to this 25% retracement. So it's kind of hanging out. We just don't want to see this break below 59 for any of the PayPal bulls. Disney bouncing off its own 25% retrace, which is right around 105.60. And if this thing breaks 107.77, I think it makes another leg up in the after hours. We'll see what happens.
You looked at Win or ARM?
Let me pull up ARM. So I know someone was saying that was up pretty good here. Oh, wow. Yep. ARM's up over 20% in after hours, up over $17 a share. Closed right around 77 bucks, and it's in the 90s now. So congrats to any of the ARM bulls. And okay, you're located in United Kingdom, semiconductor company. Okay. So investors reacting positively to ARM. Congrats to any of the ARM bulls. Okay, ARM holding surges on full year profit outlook hike. Very nice. And that's kind of the golden ticket, right, Ethan, is the forward guidance. I mean, to be honest, like sometimes the EPS and revenue don't mean anything. And it's just, okay, but we're predicting increased sales for next quarter and for the remainder of the year. And then all of a sudden you see it, go to the moon.
Right. So I mean, you look at Snap, I think, what was it, yesterday? Their EPS was actually, I think the estimate was like negative 15 cents a share. They came out positive 8 cents, and then I guess their earnings call was awful, and they dropped 30%.
I shorted that today, actually. It was a continuation play.
Yeah, solid.
Yep, got the 15-minute chart pulled up. Obviously had the earnings sell-off yesterday in after hours. Traded sideways in extended hours pre-market, leading to the opening bell. And then as soon as I saw the price fail this green 20 MA on the 15-minute, we started shorting it. I was shorting it in one of the live stream, me and Lee's live stream earlier. But yeah, for everyone on YouTube, we live stream every single day. We're live trading. There's a link in the description. You can sign up for free if you're interested, and then come chat with us. All right, so PayPal, let's go back there just for a second. It's almost 4:30 here. Go back to 1 minute. PayPal still hanging out around 61, 66. is that 25% level we were talking about, just still kind of hanging out there. The winner of the day between these two is obviously Disney. Like I said before, that $3 billion buyback. I mean, that's huge. Any company that does that, it's going to have a very positive reaction, because they're basically taking liquidity, like they're reducing, like when they buy them back, they're taking available shares off the market, right? Which is great. Okay, so and then of course they increased their cash dividend by 50%. So that's just great. PayPal kind
Speaking of buybacks, I
yeah.
did see, but I don't know if you were just talking about it, but Baba had a bunch of buybacks allegedly.
Nice.
At least they mentioned that on their earnings call, but looks like they're down today.
Let's take a look here. Yeah, they were up pretty good yesterday. Went up from 72 all the way to 78, and kind of came back down today. But the overall, Baba, I mean, shoot, that's like one of the best companies in China, and if I know some people are leery about playing stocks that are not based in the US, but if I had to pick one, it would be one of the big hitters like Baba, something like that, or JD. We were talking about JD earlier. Okay. All right, let me go back to PayPal, see if it's picked up some steam yet. Go back to intraday. Probably just going to stream for another couple more minutes, Ethan.
Yeah. Looks like these are done.
Yeah, it looks like the gas has kind of run out, huh? But
looks like
basically,
earnings calls in 30 minutes too. So yeah, it's a while.
Yep, might be a secondary move when they do the actual call.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, congrats to the Disney Bulls, and PayPal just kind of stuck here. It sold off down to 59, but now it's back into the 60s, over 61, almost 62. Basically closed around 63, so it's not even really down a lot. I mean, if you're looking at the initial pump it had, it looks like a pretty good sell-off, but keep in mind, this thing closed around $63. It's a little under 62, so not really a big move on PayPal. I think we get the move, later tonight maybe, or in pre-market tomorrow. It ends up trending in one direction or the other. I definitely don't think it just stays flat. I don't think it stays flat. Sometimes it needs a little bit more time for the earnings data to be digested. Just had a little flicker up to 63. Yeah, Amy, that's right. Semi's still leading the way. Semiconductor companies, they are hot. All right, let me post this Disney earnings one more time so everyone can see that. So Disney missed on revenue just a little bit, but because of the $3 billion buyback and boost cash dividend by 50%, I mean that's it. That's the only news they need, and then you see the positive reaction here. So. All right, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes to see if another move happens. But it looks like they've both stalled out for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Ethan said, when the CEO does the actual conference call, there could be another move depending on what he says.
Yeah, it looks like the Disney one just started 3 minutes ago. So.
Nice. So they're doing the call now. All right. So keep your eye on Disney. The CEO is doing the call right now as we're talking. A little bit of buyers stepping into PayPal on this 1 minute candle. Do got slightly more orders stacked on the bid here. Usually when we get that buy side imbalance, and we'll see the price go up. Sellers trying to compete right now. Okay, PayPal trying to make a comeback here. I would like to see it get above where it closed at, which if you zoom in, you get, we all know that the green candles, they open on the bottom and close at the top. So just look at the top of this green candle. So it closed right around 63.50. So if PayPal can get above 63.50, there might be hope for the bulls on PayPal after all. Regardless, I do think we get a move out of PayPal tomorrow or in extended hours. Disney kind of stalling out here. The CEO call is actually going on right now, so we'll let that marinate for a little bit. But it's about 4:35 p.m. I do this every Wednesday. I try and do it every Wednesday. I'll pick out 2 tickers that are reporting earnings, and I jump on at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I go over an example of a trade that I may be in on that particular stock. And I go over the metrics of the trade and how I set it up and what the trade means, because I do a lot of multi-leg trades. Okay. So I try and do this every Wednesday, and then we just go over some historical data on the basically how the stock reacted one day after the previous earnings announcement. So I try and do this every Wednesday and go over some trades that we're in and stuff like that, go over expected moves and all that fun stuff. But so I'm going to go ahead and wrap the stream up because it looks like both of them are kind of stalled out right now. But just keep your eye on the charts. Again, for PayPal, would like to see it come back up above where it closed, basically closed around 63.50. So if it can get back above there, it may be a slow grind back up. As far as Disney goes, I don't think this is coming back down. It might come back down a little bit, but very positive news with the $3 billion buyback, and they increased the cash dividend by 50%. I think Disney either holds here or continues higher, might retrace $1 or $2. But I think it stays well above where it closed at the regular session today.
Real quick on Disney, yeah. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Elon is kind of going after Disney legally today. He put out that he's gonna financially back anyone who wants to, sue Disney. So that is something to consider. Maybe they mention it on the earnings call today, but just keep that in mind. It's pretty weird.
So. Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely something to keep in mind, and especially with the name Elon Musk involved, in the news, right? So good point there. I appreciate Ethan. Go ahead and wrap up the stream. I appreciate everyone joining us on YouTube. And again, if you want to come chat with us in our group, we live trade every day. There's a link in the description. You can sign up for free. It doesn't cost anything. And then I was going over the Stock Buddy indicator earlier. A beautiful bull signal on Disney from January 22nd, and ended up running for $7-8 on that bull signal. So if you're interested in this indicator, there's a link in the description for that as well. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night. I appreciate you joining me, Ethan, and we'll see everyone in the next stream. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Come live trade with me tomorrow. Market open.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks, brother. See y'all later.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.